Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how to make a green bean casserole. Now I know it sounds scary, but it's not. It is a lot easier than you think, and it is so good and delicious and creamy and just full of goodness. I love making this from scratch because I think it's more flavorful, and you can definitely control the seasoning aspect of it, whereas if you buy the cream of mushroom like canned soup thing, I find it to be a little bit too salty. So with this, I sprinkle in my own salt. So without further ado, let's get into it.
So this is what you're going to need: green beans, milk, soy sauce, salt, pepper, some nutmeg, mushrooms, vegetable broth, fried onions, butter, and flour. I will have the recipe that I used linked down below in the description box because I kind of had to adjust mine due to just the portion that I was making. So I'm going to start off with my green beans. I'm going to roughly chop them up. Now these were already pre-washed. It said so on the package, so they were pre-washed. So I'm going to chop them up, throw them in a bowl, and I'm just going to kind of do that a little bit at a time. And honestly, I just like to roughly chop. I'm not going to be taking so much time to make it all even, but if you'd like to, you do you. And I'm going to heat up a pan on about medium to low heat. And once the green beans are all cut, this is what it's going to look like. And when the pan is hot, I'm going to drizzle some olive oil on it. I'm just making sure it feels warm. And then I'm going to throw in all of my green beans. Now, the recipe doesn't call for this step to like pre-cook them, but I found that when I skipped it, the green beans were just way too crunchy, and I like them to kind of be soft, so I like to pre-cook mine. Then I used another saucepan, a deeper one, started to preheat that, cut my butter. I think I used about 3 tablespoons. And then it's going to go into that deep saucepan. Next, while the butter melts, I'm going to cut up my mushrooms. I'm using these cremini mushrooms from Trader Joe's, and again, I'm just going to kind of roughly chop them up. I like to have some texture, so I don't like to make it too finely chopped, but a good size, whatever your preference is though. Then I'm gonna stir up my green beans and put a lid on it so that they cook a little quicker. And then I'm gonna mix around my butter, making sure it melts down. These are about the sizes that I cut my mushrooms, but again, you cut them up how you would like to. Then I'm going to take the mushrooms and throw them in with the butter. I'm going to let them kind of wilt down and shrink in size, so it's going to be a few minutes for them to cook. So I'm just going to kind of leave them alone. I used a lid to cover that as well. In the meantime, I'm going to cut up my garlic. Now the recipe calls for 2 cloves, but I'm a garlic lover, so I believe I used like 4 or 5. But I really love garlic, you guys, and I feel like it adds so much flavor, so I used what I wanted, I let my heart tell me how much garlic to use. Then once again, I stirred around my green beans, checking to see how they were done. They still weren't, so I'm going to keep cooking them. And my mushrooms are coming along really well. And then I tossed in my garlic. And then when that had a chance to cook, I'm now sprinkling in my flour. I'm going to sprinkle it in a little bit at a time and then give it a good mix to make sure it starts getting coated all over. Now this is going to use as a thickening agent in our sauce. This is what's going to make our sauce creamy and thick and delicious. Honestly, I think the only mistake I made was not use enough liquid. I didn't find it to be as creamy as I personally like it, so next time, definitely adding more broth. So I'm going to add some milk. I'm using whole milk, and then I'm going to just move it around, make sure it's kind of coated, and scrape some mushrooms off the bottom. And then I'm going to add in some vegetable broth. Again, I wish I used a little more vegetable broth because I didn't find it to be as creamy as I wanted it to be, but that's okay. We live and we learn. Then I'm adding some soy sauce for some saltiness and some extra kick. Some black pepper, of course. And cumin. I'm gonna mix that around again, and we're just going to let that come to a gentle boil. So that's what it's gonna look like, and it's gonna be nice and thick and delicious. Then I got these fried onions from Trader Joe's, just going to toss them in there. I feel like I kind of went a little overboard with them. I think I added a little too much in here, but oh well. I feel like everyone likes a lot of fried onions, and I wasn't making it just for myself, so I let my heart guide me on this one as well. We were going over to our friend's house, the only friends that we've been seeing during this time, during quarantine and everything. They work from home, so and then I'm going to preheat the oven, and I'm going to toss in my green beans, and some of them decided to jump and make a run for it, like this guy. Oh well. I'm not a pro, you guys. I do what I can. So I'm just going to stir all that in together, make sure it's nice and coated. And then I'm going to take it and put it on my saucepan. And see what I mean? It's not as like creamy and as thick as I want it to be. I feel like I could have definitely used more sauce. So next time I'm definitely going to add more of the liquid part. And I'm going to throw it in the oven, and that's it. And I totally forgot to show you guys how it looked like afterwards. I was just in such a hurry to get over to our friend's house and enjoy the delicious meal that I totally forgot. Oh well.
And that's it. See? Told you it was easy. Honestly, I was making this right before we went over to a friend's house for Friendsgiving, so I'm sorry I didn't really get to catch the end of it, but I promise you, it was absolutely delicious. I hope you try it out. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.